Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we want to take a look at the Open Great League and some spice here with Archen, which is a very interesting Pokemon actually. Same typing as Aerodactyl, like flying and rock typing, and as well today we're going to take a look at what elo this person is playing at. I did like recently a poll asking for basically some suggestions what I could do for like change of content and general ideas what you would like to see. There was like one comment pretty high up asking me to do something that I think other YouTubers as well did before, where you go ahead, it's not really specific to Pokemon Go, and take a look at some gameplay without knowing the elo and look what elo they are at. And yeah, I kind of want to invite you to join me for that one as well here, as well as for the future. If you want to participate in this as well and put in your own gameplay as well, feel free to do this. This would help out if you would cut out basically the first thing where you see the elo and just go straight into the battle, and then provide a screenshot of your elo in the like end, or like even the footage of your elo, whatever, for the end, so I can just put it in here to cut all of the elo out, so we can take a look today at this gameplay without knowing the elo of this person. So yeah, we're going to take a look today at Archen as well, which is of course more of a spicy pick, but you can use spicy picks in Open Great League, even in the higher elo ranges, as I showed already prior a lot of times. You're going to encounter a Shadow Charizard against you, one of my favorite Pokemon, as this Dragonclaw going to knock them out. We see a Registeel coming in. One thing that I can already say about the elo here, most likely that's not going to be crazy high, is the IV spread of the Pokemon on the right side. This is a good indicator of if someone is going to, I don't know, go all out for PvP, because like those, like in general, those IVs on the right side are for every Pokemon kind of weird and not really ideal. So it's doubtful, especially after seeing Pokemon like the Kommo, which is actually a very good Pokemon, but a very rare Pokemon higher up, that this is going to be the craziest range. But let's take a look at this gameplay. We're going to see a Swampert, we're going to see a Pidgeot coming in, it might be a Noctowl in the back. Then this is for someone that most likely watched a video of mine, which is a team that I actually created first. I haven't seen anybody use it prior, but got adapted pretty fast from other people as well. So here we're going to see that this Ice Punch is going to knock them out if they wouldn't shield, but they can farm down. The opponent had enough energy to throw. The Pidgeot doesn't really have good CP either, as we're going to see the Swampert coming back in here as well. I'm going to be able to go for the Dragonclaw afterwards. It's going to hurt them quite a bit. And as said before, there's going to be another flyer in the back, and it's going to be the Noctowl, which has the hat on. Interesting move here to overfarm a little bit. This is definitely something that worked out pretty well for you, as you also resist flying type moves with your Archen. Archen is actually an interesting Pokemon because of that. You're going to be able to destroy Noctowl as well now. But here we're going to see the Undercharge from the Stone Edge, trying to do something with it, but sadly didn't do anything really here. The charge move coming through, it's going to knock you out, but you can overfarm to 2 Dragonclaws here, which is going to do some decent damage. The thing is as well, there's a difference between the elo that this gameplay is at and the elo that the player is at, because, for example, myself, I think I'm currently at like 2400 elo because I just couldn't physically play really during the event, because, or like during the last weekend, because I was at the EOSC, because like my game was so laggy in London for whatever reason. I literally lost so many battles where I just lagged out and didn't get fast moves through, etc. So like I didn't really have a chance for that. But for example here, Greedent is not really the highest, like the most common Pokemon in the Open Great League. This does not seem to be as high of a meta, but it's going to be a Pokemon that still is pretty interesting to take a look at actually. Has a lot of potential. Tentacruel as well. I actually see Tentacruel a little bit more often in the open, or like in the higher up meta as well, just as a spice pick, but like if I say more often, I see it sometimes. I mean with that, while I haven't seen this opponent's Pokemon before at all. Same goes for this normal Stunfisk here. We will see that you're going to be able to let this move go through here. This is the battle between the Stunfisk. It's actually interesting to see that you are going to have, I think, actually a disadvantage here, because the opponent would be able to win this in a 2 shield. They're going to outspeed you for sure. You're going to go ahead and try to go for 2 baits, but this time around you're going to let this move go through, which is not really the ideal scenario for you. Should have thrown earlier. Definitely missed by there with this move here. We're going to see the Discharge coming through, which is the right play to do, and we see a Galvantula coming in, which is not really the most common meta Pokemon either. And there are no shielding the first move, which is not the best play either as well. Large coming through, you can farm down with your Archen here, as you can go ahead and go for one Dragon Claw most like. No, we're going to see a Shadow Scissor coming in, which can farm you all the way down. As said before, all those 3 Pokemon are not really the most common Pokemon for this Great League meta right now. We can go ahead and go for an Earthquake here against the opponent's Regiseal. This is more something like a meta Pokemon. And we see the Zapcan coming through. You're going to swap out immediately as we see a Drapion coming through. That's definitely more of a meta team. Drapion is very, very good, but again, this team also doesn't make too much sense from the opponent. Any ground type going to be very difficult to deal with already, as both Drapion as well as the Registeel are having some issues with those ground types, as you're going to be able to go ahead and go for some Ice Punches here, which are going to do some decent damage. Still literally just coming back from the EOIC, so I'm a little bit tired still, so if I commentate a little bit weird, hopefully it's going to be better over the days. We're going to see here that you can shield up this move, or you're going to let this move go through. You can still survive it. I think the opponent is single moved, which, like anything else, wouldn't make sense at this point of time. As we're going to see an Altaria coming in now. You can go for the Rock Slide here. Rock Slide will do some decent damage, and you can go ahead and go for the Dragon Claw now with your Archen, which is going to do a super effective damage as well, going to get them low. You could shield this move up. You're going to shield this move up. It's single moved as well, I'm pretty sure. But you can just farm them all the way down and sweep endgame now with your Archen, as the opponent going to forfeit here as well. They are like, yeah, they were standing still there. So, next opponent, Albamasno. Normal Albamasno, way less common than a Shadow version, because Shadow version is just the better version of it. So, seeing a normal one is already a little bit weird here again. We're going to see the swap into the Medicham, which I actually like as a safe swap in the current meta. There's not a lot of Pokemon that really want to come in against it, as Ghost types are pretty rare, and even then Ghost types like Trevenant are going to have a weakness against your Ice Punch. We're going to see another Ice Punch coming through against the opponent's Swampert, as you're going to be able to get them pretty low here. Low enough that you can wing attack them down, but you're going to shield up this next charge move from the opponent. They still get to another one. And at this point of time, you're going to be able to farm them all the way down. Towards the team that you're using here as well, yourself, I can say that you are very weak against Swampert in general, because both your Pokemon in the back as well as your lead going to struggle with it, as you're going to have a double weakness to water type Pokemon in general. We're going to see the Rock Slide coming through here from you. You're going to get the shield from the opponent, which doesn't make any sense at all to shield this move up. And we're going to see the Alolan Raichu coming through here, which is going to get crunched away. Goodbye there from your Archen there, which is going to be very nice to see. Next opponent, we're going to see a Hypno here. It's a Pokemon that was very common back in the day, and nowadays are very uncommon to see, especially as a purified version, means that they don't have the perfect IV spread for this Pokemon. And it's unlikely that they're running the move Return, because there's literally no reason for it. It literally doesn't give you better coverage or gives you a better move in general. They are running Shadow Ball and Ice Punch and have a purified Hypno, so honestly, there are, at least for me, so many indicators that this might not be the highest ELO range, but who knows. As well as we're going to see a Snorlax here. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think. What ELO range is this? Like, if you're listening right now, please go to the comment section, put your guess in there. Put just like something like 2100 to 2200, 2300 to 2400, or even 3500 to 3600, where nobody is right now. So something like this in the comment section, and let's see if we are right at the end. We're going to be able to let this move go through here with the Snorlax. Snorlax going to not appreciate this crunch yet. They forfeited already. And we will see the Archen going to be able to seal the deal. Next opponent, we're going to see another Galarian Stunfisk against you. Again, we can look at the CP of the opponent, seeing that this is not really the ideal level there, even though my own Stunfisk is also not really at the best CP. Still need to build a new one, because I actually got a better one, which has the bulk point against in the mirror matchup, which makes it definitely better to use for those EUICs or whatever is coming up in the future. But before I have to participate in one of those again, I'm not going to power this one up either. Here we're going to see the Ice Punch coming through from the Medicham, going to get the shield from the Noctowl. You have to let this move go through here. You have two good Pokemon against it. And just can go ahead and go for the Rock Slide here with your Galarian Stunfisk before the opponent gets to another charge move here. And we will see now the opponent going to go into a Medicham. That's going to get hit by this Earthquake. Earthquake going to do some pretty decent damage here. And you can swap out into your Archen, as you can go ahead and go for a charge move as well. Your own gameplay, I have to say, is definitely better than what the Pokemon, or like in general what the opponents are doing here. So I feel like that you might not take this game too serious right now and might try to climb later. Because while there are some issues in team building, which is happening with Archen anyway, and the IVs are not as great, you're still playing pretty decently, so I cannot really say anything against this. So yeah, I think that's going to be someone that is usually around maybe 2700, maybe even Legend, who knows, but is currently playing in a lower elo just to have some fun, as you're going to be able to go for the Dragonclaw here. It's going to get the knockout against the opponent. We're going to get the Sableye coming in, Sableye going down there, and we're going to see the Registeel coming back in here. Crunch going to go ahead and does actually way more damage than I expected, as we see the Zap Cannon coming through here, going to do some decent damage as well, and the Pelipper coming through as well here, which going to go ahead and yeah, have to take this Ice Punch, which they're going to shield up, which doesn't make any sense at all, because it was a clear Ice Punch, it wasn't a bait. So, I don't know what the Pelipper thought it would be doing here, but it was definitely not the right play to do. Shielding up to charge moves here is kinda definitely needed, because the charge moves would have done a ton of damage, and that would have knocked you out already. You have to go straight for the Stone Edge, not Stone Edge, for the Rock Slide here, which is going to definitely do a ton of damage. The opponent can overfarm by quite a bit, very nice play by the opponent, but they just literally throw away their main Pokemon in the back there with the Registeel, but they still made a great play with it, and you were able to snipe the opponent there, which didn't really make too much sense. I don't know what the opponent did there. They were like at 100 energy, and they just decided to farm up even more there. That was kind of wild. We see another Registeel here. You're gonna go ahead and go for the charge move immediately, where the opponent gonna go for a Focus Blast, that you were able to even outspeed them as a wild, and usually you shouldn't be able to farm down immediately here either. So that Registeel must have been like some Raid IV version, because this is usually not the way to go. But also you have, I think, a little bit higher attack now on the Stunfisk than usual, so maybe that makes a difference. I have no idea, but that's usually not how it happens. We see the Ice Punch coming through from your Medicham against the opponent's Altaria, which is going to do some pretty decent damage here, as you can let the one move go through, and you can still reach the charge move, which is a very great play by you, as this forces the knockout here from the opponent. We see the Galarian Stunfisk coming back in from the opponent here, where you can just take the Rock Slide onto your Archen. This is not a Rock Slide, and the opponent, it looks like you kind of had some lag there, but it's fine to let this move go through. But you're going to be able to just go straight for the Earthquake anyway. Yeah, you're going to be fine here. That's going to be a pretty decent win, as the opponent going to predict you not going for the Earthquake there, which is definitely their downfall here. We're going to see the next opponent coming through here with their own Sableye. You will be able to reach those Rock Slides pretty easily here as well, as we see the foul play coming through from the opponent. Sableye can get farmed down here for sure by your Archen, as the wing attack is doing a ton of damage, but you sadly had a CMP. Actually, no, you didn't CMP there. Did you? Okay, you want to throw the charge move before the opponent gets to the next one. I guess it does make sense, but you can farm them all the way down now. You are get out the what's called Bastion here, which is fine for you, but you actually didn't really want to have it in this matchup at all, because the rest of your team completely hardwalls this Pokemon. You can go into the Medicham, as you're going to encounter the Medicham by the opponent, and they went straight for the Power Punch here. This is definitely an interesting way to go here, as the opponent most likely going to run the Psychic as well. They know most likely that one Psychic is not enough to knock them out, and this is definitely not the play that you wanted to go for as well. So you would have wanted to stay in there with your own Medicham, try to go for an Ice Punch, and then maybe snipe the move, but here you're going to lose this game for sure. This was not the way to go whatsoever. So maybe Hinsaw is also maybe not like a Legend player. I'm not sure about this one. It's also, of course, a little bit awkward to talk about it. I don't really want to throw shame or anything on anybody. I just want to try out to guess the elo based on the plays that I'm going to see here, as I can also still analyze what is happening at the same time, which might be interesting for a few people. Also, if you have some suggestions for this format, please let me know in the comment section as well, as you're going to see here the Pelipper coming through, going to do some decent damage against you. Here, Pelipper usually wins the matchup straight against the Galarian Stunfisk. But you can knock them out here right now, as we're going to see now the Archen going to try to go up against a Galarian Stunfisk as well, against the Scrafty. Scrafty would actually be an awkward matchup already, because counter is still neutral and the charge moves are still neutral. So here we're going to see the bait with the Dragonclaw. Let's see if they're going to go for the shield. They are not. You're going to go for their next charge move as well, which is going to be a little bit awkward. You're going to be able to get the final shield by the opponent, I think it was, which might put them into a range where you can go for an Earthquake to knock them out. But I think this whole play is doing too much damage here, as yeah, that's going to put you into a range where they can farm you down. Final game. This so far looks around like I don't know, like 2000, 2100 maybe, a little bit higher. Elo range, I wouldn't say more than 2300, 2400, because yeah, the Pokemon that you saw, we saw so many Pokemon that are a little bit wilder for the Great League, something that you definitely don't see up there. Like up above 2800, I would say, is like nearly always only full meta teams. So as we saw here, like a Garventula or like those Alolan Raichus, it must be somewhere around like 2100 rating, maybe 2150 or something maybe. As you're going to see here now, the Charge Move coming through against the Swampert. Very interesting teams again from the opponents. Like, of course, at this range, still some opponents have some crazy teams, but you see like all of those that don't really have the best teams as well. So yeah, we're going to take a look at this one now. Last chance for you to write in the comment section. Let's take a look at this final battle here. I see the time is clicking down there. As you're going to have 10 more seconds left, we're going to see the Ice Punch coming through to knock out the opponent, I thought, but no, the Rock Slide's going to do the final blow here, and we're going to see the LilyNiRiain right now. So yeah, this is going to be it for this one. Did you guess it correct? Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you next video. Bye.